Shout out to BWB, man. BWB. Damn Wagon Bus. Shout out to BWB, man. You know what I'm saying? Bandwagon Bus, man. Shout out to Bandwagon Bus. Thank y'all for coming. BWB, baby. Shout out to TOP Sports Club, baby.
Buff Nation, what up? BWB, my bandwagon Buffs. What it is, what it does, and what it's gonna be. It's your man's Harry Billion. Family, welcome to the Liberian Perspective. Please do me a favor and smash that subscribe button. Make sure to give me the thumbs up and don't forget to smash that bell notification so that you can be one of the first to get the videos as soon as I upload it to YouTube. Don't forget to get your BWB merch and rep the most educated, well-informed, least delusional fan base there is in all, and I mean all of college football. But family, I gotta go ahead and get into this video real quick, so that's all the business I got. You know what time it is. Let's work. The players are taking a little break. This is gonna be a little bit of a quiet time. This is an opportunity for me to give you guys more information. We only have like a month and some weeks before the actual season kicks off. So on this channel, guys, I'm gonna try to give us as much information as possible so that we can enjoy the games. My guys over there at the Buffaloes Wire, that usatoday.com, they wrote an article highlighting 8 of the players that actually don't get as much talked about as other players. So I wanted to give you those 8 players today and we can discuss those 8 players. I want to also know in the comments, from everything you guys have seen so far, what are your thoughts? What are you guys feeling out there? What do you see so far? What are some of the differences that you've seen from the first group of young men that were here and now all of the players that are currently here? What do you think we're currently missing? Are we missing anything? Are there still questions on that O-line or the D-line? I know most of our skill positions are pretty nice, but where do you see a deficiency, if any? These are just questions. I want to start having some discussions, get some understanding about our chances and everything. Anyway, so let's go ahead and go to the Buffaloes Wire, that usatoday.com. Once we get the article in, then we can go ahead and have a little bit of a discussion. So the title of this article is 8 Buffs who aren't being talked about enough this summer. All right, this article was written by Jack Carlo. Besides the likes of Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, and a few others, it remains just about anyone's guess as to which players will shine the most for head coach Deion Sanders in his first season leading Colorado. We recently projected the CU Buffs offensive and defensive starters, but there are still a few other names that you may not be hearing about as much, with the 2023 college football season only a couple of months away. Below are 8 players, the first 5 coming from DNVR Buffs and the final 3 chosen by myself, who aren't being talked about enough this summer. The first player we have is running back Kavosiey Smoke. All right, you see his photo right there from Kentucky. I don't know who that big guy is, that number 77. I want to get that guy over here. That guy look like he's like 7 feet 8 inches. Good Lord. Even though Houston transfer Alton McCaskill IV is the likely favorite to start, don't forget about Smoke in Colorado's running back room. The former Kentucky Wildcat put together 4 solid seasons in Lexington and owns the speed to excel in Sean Lewis's offense. Next player we have is edge Derek McLendon II. McLendon started in 12 games last season for Florida State with 37 total tackles, 5.0 TFLs, and 3.5 sacks. And TFL would be tackle for a loss. Our next player is wide receiver Willie Gaines. Gaines made the leap from JUCO to Jackson State and was one of Shedeur Sanders' most common targets with 446 receiving yards and 5 touchdowns. You see his picture right there from Jack State. Our next player is safety Roderick Ward. Like a few of the other names on this list, don't overlook the fact that Ward played at an FCS school last season. He should have no problem finding success. Now, FCS, guys, FCS is Football Championship Subdivision. Anytime I see any acronyms or anything like that, I'm going to try to give us the actual name of the acronym because a lot of us are still learning. Football Championship Subdivision. The big brother would be FCS. FBS, which would be Football Bowl subdivision. Those are the ones that get the 6 New Year's Eve bowl games. And if you win one of those, your chances of getting to the national title game, being voted in, are very high. He should have no problem finding success at Colorado after recording 4 interceptions last season at Southern Utah. Our next player is defensive lineman Zach Blackwood. That's a name I haven't heard that much. Have you guys heard that name? Colorado DL coach Sal Sunseri was nothing but impressed by Blackwood's film at Garden City Community College. So homeboy should ball out. A lot of different players are going to be popping off this year, so we should definitely look forward to seeing a lot of different faces. All right, the next one is safety Miles Slusher. Colorado's secondary is certainly crowded, but Slusher is primed, pun intended. Slusher is primed to stand out following 3 solid seasons in the SEC. That would be the Southeastern Conference. Offensive lineman Landon Beebe. Beebe was a 3-time All-Missouri Valley Conference selection and 2-time captain at Missouri State. He has both the talent and leadership skills to thrive under Coach Prime. Our next player is wide receiver Adam Hopkins. Okay, I see you. Ooh, hoo-hoo. Look at that. Oh boy. I don't know if that's a real DB or that was just a practice squad person. I don't know who that was, but sheesh, getting smoked. My goodness. While it will be difficult for Hopkins to find playing time next season, the 4-star incoming freshman deserves some more attention. This is more of a big picture selection for me. All right, guys. So if you've been following the team closely, these are some names that you will hear or that you've heard about pretty much. It's not likely that you're going to hear too many names in practice. I mean, if somebody does something crazy, then they'll probably make a little bit of noise on the videos and they'll put it out. But for the most part, most of those guys are competing. And that's what I like to see. I like to see competition. I like to see those guys actually fighting for position because we have multiple players at each position. There's going to be a lot of different players in those rooms that are going to be fighting for playing time. And that's the great thing because you never know when your number is going to get called. Whenever your number is called, it's time for you to show up. You got to be ready to play. You got to make sure that you're putting in the time. And a lot of these players, they're more hungry. They are locked in and ready to play. I believe these kids watch these videos, they listen to the media, they're hearing everybody. They have a little bit of an advantage because a lot of people are counting these kids out. The mainstream media are really counting these kids out. I don't know that that's the right approach for these kids because a lot of these kids, they're very competitive. So they're going to take those things to heart. They're going to have a chip on their shoulder and they're going to show up to play. Believe it or not, they watch these videos, they read all of these articles. If they don't read the articles, at least they hear us making a big deal about these articles. When somebody puts out an article, we got this thing from On3, there's an anonymous coach that says something crazy like either he's going to be really good really fast and leave for another gig, which looking at that roster doesn't seem possible. The alternative is that they're going to be bad and they'll end up firing him in a big circus. I already have left those comments alone. Everybody has an opinion. And it's unfortunate that even the Pac-12 coaches are having these type of comments. Most of these coaches are cowards. They don't want to come out and actually put their names on these quotes. They're hiding behind their sources, like the writers and whoever is taking these quotes, and they're hiding behind these sources and then just throwing darts. I don't understand. I think these kids are going to take these things personal. And anytime people say these type of things, these kids are going to go on YouTube and watch these videos that we make. It's creating a chip on their shoulders, which is a really great thing. At the end of the day, you want these kids to be energized. You want them to be charged and ready to go. This is a tough conference. We all know that. We don't downplay that. We don't downplay the fact that this is Power 5. But I just want to make sure that the energy stays the same. Somebody else said something like Coach Prime was at FCS. He got a bunch of FBS players just running through the FCS with his FBS players. And I'm like, okay, so that was a narrative. Okay, so he was the only person that was able to recruit FBS players. He was able to win in the FCS. So it's like when people talk, I don't know if they actually take what they're saying and they evaluate it, or they just like to hear themselves either talk or type. Because if you say he won in the FCS because he was the only person that had FBS players, okay, then how can you make the comments of those players are not going to translate to FBS? That's one thing. That's why you got to laugh at some of these people. On one hand, you're saying those players are not going to translate because they're FCS players, but then you want to make the argument to say, oh, he had FBS players, so it wasn't fair. I don't know, sometimes when these people are talking, if they stop for 1 second to just say, oh, that sounded a little weird, that didn't make sense. Because you're the same people saying that Travis Hunter's not going to translate. Shedeur Sanders have never played in Power 5, so he's not going to translate. He's going to get ran off the field every Saturday. The same FBS players that you're saying that he had at Jackson State, he got a lot of them here. But those FBS players are not as good as the FBS players that never went over to FCS. I don't know if you guys follow the logic, if you're thinking along the same lines that I'm thinking. Because it's like the arguments, they got to make sense. Now, Coach Prime is going to get well when these kids come back. Preseason is going to start real soon. We don't know who the starters are. The coach has not put together the starting lineup. They have not released that yet. I don't know that issue. Ever release that until game day. You don't want to give nobody no advantage. You don't want to give TCU any type of advantage over whatever it is that we're doing for them to start looking at tape and saying, okay, if this person is starting, then we need to prepare for this person and just look at their practice tapes. I don't know that that should happen. Coach Prime has such a strong staff that him not being there doesn't really matter. When you and your guys are so locked in and you are a great leader, it's just like a church. When the head pastor leaves, the church should not go down. It should still be rocking. If you are a great leader, whenever you step away, your organization should still be in good standing because you've done the work. You've been spending quality time with them, letting them know, teaching them your ways, what you like to see, so that when you step away, things will be okay. In the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be bringing you some data to help us to really get into the games, and I'm going to be bringing you some comparisons. I don't want to give too much away about what I'm doing because I don't want to see my ideas out there in videos. But just stay tuned. On this channel, I bring information to try to help the constituents to enjoy the games on Saturday. So make sure you smash that subscribe button to help the channel grow. We are almost at 6,000 subscribers, and I appreciate you. All right, guys, thanks for watching. You know who I am. I'm Harry B, and that right there is the Liberian Perspective TLP Sports Club. Blah.